only one in the crosshairs here. Anna, you're getting actual death threats. Wow.
Yes. I mean, look, getting death threats is kind of part of the job to some extent. But I noticed that I was getting like this massive influx of very specific death threats in like my DMs, some emails. And I was just like, what's going on? Because obviously this tends to happen when there's some sort of campaign against you or there's a group targeting you.
So Anna Kasparian is breaking down how basically Israel's IDF is sending her death threats, you know. And what's funny is that Jillian Michael starts off talking, she's having a situation with Netflix, something about The Biggest Loser, and I guess there's like some sort of, complaint about it. I don't know, but probably some money situation and everything, and she's probably being, like a character assassinated, about that, which is, obviously we don't want that for her, right? But it's not the same thing as when Israel decides to send you death threats. So I think minimizing it to like, oh yeah, you too, and like they still think it's a joke. You can tell people really think it's a joke. I don't know how, it's just insane. So Anna Kasparian is going to explain her situation, and we'll see how the rest of the girls take it on her take, because it's funny. I've seen some people criticizing Anna for this, which is really weird, but we'll get into that later.
And so I did a little bit of digging, and I found out that the group that started targeting me with social media posts was Canary Mission, which is one of these pro-Israel groups, and they really do spend much of their time, targeting.
Let me fix it right now. I thought it was the 8200 unit of the ID. Excuse me, please don't come for my channel, guys. Let me fix it right now. So it's Canary Mission. It's affiliate is a pro-Israel group that's deciding to send people threats.
Specific critics of Israel, and I want to be clear, critics of Israel. They then smear them as like anti-Semites, even though the individuals, myself included, are very careful to say the Israeli government, this is what Israel's doing, do not, make this a commentary about the Jews. In fact, I've spoken out against that, as you ladies know. There was, I'm not going to get into details, but there was a guest pitched for our show who I find to be an issue in regard to anti-Semitism. And I think I was like the most vocal one in not wanting to have that person on.
Well, then now you just censored that person. So, it's just really weird to me that we keep doing this. So should I even care? Like at the end of the day, okay, all right, let me take it back. Rewind. Number one, I definitely do not want anybody being threatened at all. But if Anna thinks that her situation is outrageous, but somebody else's isn't, Anna's sadly mistaken. Okay, sadly mistaken, right? Secondly, to say, oh, this person, could have been on the show, but I didn't want them on because they were anti-S. Have you ever listened to whoever it was? I wonder who it was. That's the thing about people, it's like no matter how much you explain your position, people will always say that you're worse because maybe, I don't know, you step outside of the bounds of talking about Israel. Like, can we be honest that after October 7th, everybody started looking up these people and their history and World War I and World War II? And did you not do that? Okay, maybe people didn't do that. I did. I started looking things up because of the reaction that people were giving them. It wasn't even them. It was the people who were saying that whatever they do is basically correct. I was like, whoa. I need to find out more about what's going on. Like, how come everybody's afraid?
Anyway, so with that background in mind, here's a look at what the Canary Mission is. I did talk about it on TYT. And then after we come back from the video, I'll explain a little more. They have a website essentially doxing anybody who's been critical of Israel. And I think that they're particularly gross. If you go on their website, they also target other organizations, and news organizations are included in there, including Students for Justice in Palestine, Students United for Palestinian Equal Rights. Ooh, I can't have that. Jewish Voice for Peace is also a target of the Canary Mission. AJ Plus, Al Jazeera English, Al Jazeera Media Network, anyone simply associated or part of the BDS movement is also a target. You'll go on their website and they list people's identity, And even though no one's committed any crimes, no one's done anything wrong, most of these people haven't even said a single thing that's pro-Hamas or anti-Semitic, doesn't matter. The mere fact that these people have been critical of Israel's genocide and slaughter campaign in Gaza and the West Bank, by the way, becomes a target. As you can see.
But the thing is that I don't know now who to be more mad at because, okay, again, obviously the person getting the threats, or the people who are handing out threats are definitely the worst, okay? Obviously. I was actually threatened myself earlier today, so, just always look out for if I have to reload my channel or something because somebody definitely did threaten me on my channel. With that said, also, too, don't forget the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Had to throw in a quick faceless one because I needed to fix something. But anyway, but again, it's like this discussion of like, it's this discussion of like, I say it the right way and other people say it the wrong way. To be clear, as long as nobody's calling for danger to others, right? Because we don't do that. We definitely disavow any kind of form of violence. Nobody should ever just, first of all, look, okay, here's the thing about these words like anti-S. That's when you just hate somebody because they were born that way. I don't hate people because they were born a different culture than mine. That's disgusting. Like, you'll never see me pull out like, stuff about their babies and stuff. Like, I'm not doing that. That's insane. Now you got a problem. I have seen people, and I'm not, look, very French people, not anybody that y'all would even know if I said their name, but say things like don't have children. Like, that's disgusting. Nobody's saying that. People are just giving criticism to the fifth column of Zionist Jews who do run this country. Okay, so anyway, I don't know why Anna felt like she still feels like she's doing it the right way. And so I almost question, is she saying, so now I'm coming at her. So I'm questioning if she's saying like, well, those who do it the wrong way, they deserve to be threatened. Is that what's going on here? I don't know.
See, they target even Jewish Americans who are critical of what Israel is doing right now in Gaza and the West Bank, by the way. And so this organization has targeted others, including that Tufts University student who is here with a student visa, Rumiesa Ozturk. The reason why they targeted her specifically was because she co-wrote an article, an op-ed in the student newspaper. I mean, if it's in the student newspaper, you can imagine it's not going to say disgusting anti-Semitic things. All it did was criticize what Israel's doing and bring up the possibility of divesting from companies that are assisting Israel in carrying out, mass slaughter in Gaza, annexation in the West Bank, stuff like that. So here's how I responded to the Canary Mission targeting me. And I welcome their hatred because I think what they do is disgusting. I think what they provide cover for will go down in history as one of the worst genocides in human history. And I live in the United States of America. I'm an American. I'm proud to be an American. I'm not an Israeli. There's no law on the books that indicates that I have to support Israel in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, as Israel continues its genocide against the Palestinian people, I will continue to speak out against them, unafraid. Okay, so clearly I'm not going to allow anyone to send.
All right, we already know. So, like, listen, let me just break this down, though. For real. Like, okay. You know what, whatever. Let me just get to the girl's reactions about everything that she's saying. But, again, I just want to say that I just, these people want to act like I think people don't really understand what the First Amendment is, and that's going to be a problem because our rights are being taken away from us. If I, as a black person, made it clear that I would stand next to a KKK member and say, this person has to be able to say that they don't like black people. In fact, that they hate black people, right? As long as they're not, I'm not going to cover your right. Excuse me, you don't have a right. I'm not going to cover you if you're planning to hurt black people. No. But you have a right to say that. And I have to stand up for it because when it comes to my time to say something, I know that they're going to come. We have a First Amendment. I've asked myself this question. I've taken myself to the edge of that question, and I've answered and said, you have to. You have to. these people, they don't do that. It's like, no, I'm not being anti-ass. No. Those people who are doing that, I think is disgusting, and I don't think that we should talk to them. Great job.
That mindset. Look.
I think our support should be conditional. And the condition is you can't do this expansionist policy. You can't keep stealing land. You can't keep slaughtering innocent people. I think there should be conditions set in regard to U.S. support of Israel. And if they know that it's an existential threat, then stop slaughtering innocent people. It's not that difficult.
But let me ask you.
I'm in complete alignment with you here. I'm very America first. And I cannot believe that we are still betting this years afterward. And at first I was suspending my own judgment here, but things have gotten progressively worse, even in the last couple.
Yeah, it only took over 100,000 people to be slaughtered for you people to start saying, "Oh, maybe we should kind of talk about this." And I know, guys, that like what I'm saying. Somebody will say like, "Oh, well, at least they're talking about it or whatever." Y'all are privy to information just the same way I am, probably even more. So I don't know how this is like something we don't really have a conversation about. I still don't see Jillian Michael saying that.
There's a huge element of self-interest here that we cannot overlook. And I do want to say something. You talk about the Canary Mission. They've discredited themselves. Their tactics reek of Joe McCarthy, the way that they
it doesn't matter. They still work with the government, so it doesn't matter. I'm looking for Jillian Michaels' thought processes here because she's always.
You are all correct, as Brian just said, in being outraged at children and innocents being slaughtered. The counter argument to that is, why are we only criticizing Israel for it? Where is our outrage when this is happening throughout the rest of the world? How come when the Jews do it, it's suddenly a problem? And they make a good point that our outrage should be applied evenly, not selectively. The history of this and all of the attempts at peace should be explained. And there are numerous attempts at it that were rejected by the Palestinian Authority of the time. And it is, in fact, biblical. So I think that the argument, Brian, tell me if I'm wrong here, that you're suggesting is that if Israel does not, for them, that if they don't do what they believe needs to be done, that is the end of Israel. Because and we've talked about this before with the Likud charter, but also what's in Hamas's charter is
that's not in their charter. So she's getting ready to do the dumb stuff, right? So it's not, what she's about to say is not in their charter. I've never seen anything like this. Okay, I have, right? Where people just believe whatever they want and then they go off about it. It is despicable. There is no two sides to me. There is none. Over 100,000 people slaughtered. And to be honest, guys, like, let's keep it real. We're not counting the people who are still in the rubble, people who are missing, the whole bit. Come on, please. Look at that footage. I can't share it because they'll copyright me or whatever. Look at the footage and tell me that looks normal. Tell me that even when you see the place, right? They bombed the hospital the other day. Like, get up out of here, man. Double tapped it too, right? And this notion. So when do I become a threat to these people's existence, right? This is what I'm talking about. So she makes me so sick. Like, girl, like, I don't know. And for the people who are just jumping on almost 2 years later, 2 years? Oh, why is it selective towards Israel? Well, I don't know, maybe because we're funding it, right? I don't know, maybe because we're giving people charges of anti-Semitism if they speak against it. That we went after schools for it. We are deporting people for it. We're deporting legal immigrants for it. And, Trump did say he's going to stamp out anti-S, and when you find out that anti-Zionist is equal to that, really? We went to wars for. You ever heard of the Oded Yanan plan, Jillian Michaels? You know how many of our American soldiers have died in wars for this place? How much more does America have to give for you people to shut the hell up and just get out the way of those of us who are saying we want to remove ourselves from this unholy alliance?